The first time I saw her, the sky above Kepri 9 was burning. Not with fire, but with color. The planet's upper atmosphere fractured sunlight into ribbons of violet, gold, and deep blue, as if reality itself were trying to remember what it once was. My boots sank into the ash-gray soil as the evacuation sirens howled behind me. We were losing the colony. Again. Humanity had learned how to run faster than it learned how to belong. I was a xenolinguist attached to the Colonial Recovery Corps, which meant my job was simple in theory and impossible in practice. Make contact, translate intent, and try not to start a war. Kepri 9 was supposed to be uninhabited. The scan said so. The chart said so. History, however, had a habit of laughing at our charts. That was when she stepped out of the light. She wasn't wearing armor, but she looked like a warrior anyway. Tall, silver-skinned, her eyes faceted like cut crystal. Symbols pulsed faintly beneath her translucent skin, moving as if they were alive. I raised my hands instinctively, the universal human gesture of surrender. She tilted her head, and then she said my name, not my designation, not my rank, my name, Elias. My heart stuttered. I had never spoken to an alien before, not face to face, and I was certain, absolutely certain, that I had never met her. "I'm sorry," I said, forcing my voice steady. "You have me confused with someone else." She studied me the way one might study a reflection in broken glass. "You say that every time," she replied. "Every time." Before I could ask what she meant, the ground trembled. Orbital cannons ignited above us, and the evacuation sirens escalated into panic. She looked skyward, her expression shifting, not fear, but something heavier. Regret. "Come," she said, gripping my wrist. Her touch sent a pulse of warmth through me, as if something dormant had been stirred awake. "If you stay, you will die." Again. She led me through caverns carved not by tools, but by time itself. Bioluminescent veins lit our path, responding to her presence. I stumbled, still trying to understand how an alien, on a planet we believed empty, knew who I was. "My name is Essathira," she said as we moved. "I am a keeper of continuance." "That doesn't explain why you know me." "No," she agreed softly, "but it explains why I remember you." We reached a chamber where the walls curved inward like the inside of a living mind. At its center stood a structure that defied geometry, a lattice of light folding into itself, humming with restrained power. "A memory engine," she said. "Your people would call it impossible." "What does it do?" "It preserves what time tries to erase." She placed her hand against the lattice. Images erupted into the air, ghostly, shimmering scenes. I saw stars rearranging themselves. Civilizations rising, collapsing, restarting. And then I saw myself. Not older, not younger, different. I was wearing unfamiliar clothing, standing beside Essathira under a sky I didn't recognize. "That's not me," I whispered. She turned to me. "It is you, just not this version." The truth settled slowly, painfully. Humanity hadn't just explored the stars. We had fractured time. Every failed colony, every extinction-level mistake, someone, somewhere, had chosen to reset. Not rewind. Reset. Each reset spawned a new timeline, slightly altered. Memories were supposed to vanish. Only one species had evolved beyond that rule. Hers. "We exist partially outside linear time," Essathira explained. "When your people discovered temporal recursion, we became the witnesses, the keepers of what was lost." "And me?" I asked. "Why do you remember me?" Her gaze softened. "Because you were the first human who realized what resetting cost." The images shifted again. I saw myself arguing with human commanders, begging them to stop triggering resets. Saw myself choosing to stay behind each time, volunteering to anchor the memory engine, so at least someone would remember the erased worlds. Each reset killed that version of me, but fragments endured. In every timeline, Asathira said, "You choose remembrance over survival." My chest tightened. Then why don't I remember you? Because your species is not meant to carry that weight, she said. But I am. The bombardment above intensified. The colony's last defenses were failing. Humanity was about to do what it always did when faced with the unknown. Erase and move on. There's another option, I said slowly, the fragments aligning in my mind. Isn't there? Asathira hesitated. You could stop them, I continued. No reset. No erasure. Let this timeline stand. And condemn billions to live with the consequences of their mistakes, she asked. Yes, I said, because consequences are how we learn. She searched my face, as if trying to reconcile this version of me with all the others she had known. There is a price, she warned. If the engine is shut down, my people will lose our connection to the echoes of time. I will forget the others. The others? She smiled sadly. All the versions of you. Silence stretched between us. Will you remember this one? I asked. Yes, she said without hesitation, because this one chooses differently. We reached the surface as the first evacuation ships broke orbit. I opened a channel to command, overriding protocols that shouldn't have been overridable but somehow were. This is Elias Carter, I said. Stand down. No reset authorization. They laughed at first. Then the sensors began feeding data, proof of the memory engine, proof of temporal damage humanity had buried under classified reports for generations. Fear replaced laughter. You don't understand what you're risking, the commander said. I do, I replied. For once, I finally do. The countdown halted. Orbit stabilized. For the first time in human expansion, a failed colony wasn't erased. It was remembered. Ending. Months later, Kepri, 9 was no longer burning. The skies still shimmered, but now they did so peacefully, as if the planet itself had exhaled. A joint settlement rose where the colony once fell. Human structures intertwined with Asathira's living architecture. History recorded it as the moment humanity stopped running from its past. I stood on a ridge overlooking the settlement when Asathira joined me. Her markings glowed faintly, slower than before. Do you feel different? I asked. Yes, she said. The echoes are fading. The other timelines are growing quiet. And the memories? She looked at me. I remember this life. This choice. This you. That was enough. I realized then why she had always remembered me, across countless erased worlds. It wasn't because I was special. It was because I was consistent. And this time, finally, I would live long enough to remember her too. As the sun dipped below the horizon, human and alien children played together in the valley below, unaware of how many worlds had died so they could exist. Asathira reached for my hand. She was an alien, I said softly. I was human. And now we both remember. The future, for once, remained unreset. And that made all the difference.